Welcome, welcome, everyone, live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. I'm Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty, and I'll be with you for the next 2 hours with our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean, tripping, delight, fantastic about all things health, vitality, and well-being oriented. And, of course, it's one of our most favorite things to do, to cuddle up to the radio or the computer or your iPod or your iPad here on Monday evening or whatever time of the week you are downloading this tremendous archive of information, and to share with you the wisdom of Dr. Carolyn Dean, who, as a medical doctor and a naturopath, has been after it, and I'm talking hard after it, for 50 years, ladies and gentlemen, being inspired to follow her life's calling at a very young age and working her way through medical school, naturopathy, and I'm talking about slogging through the field of natural medicine and health trends and health fads and what's happened in pharmaceutical medicine and what's happened in the FDA and the big pharma and what's happened around the world and what's happened on this planet when it relates to the thing that we should know more than anything, which is how naturally, effortlessly healthy we are in our physical bodies, knowing that we are part of this earth, part of the biological sphere, that everything here is set up to support us. All nutrition, all advantage, all elements, everything to our advantage, and yet here we struggle to the degree that we struggle for the various reasons that we do. But Dr. Carolyn Dean is not at the least bit put out by that. As a matter of fact, she's not even remotely concerned about it because she knows she's got the answer. And, of course, wherever there is a struggle, there's always the relief that comes from knowing what to do. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, what to do about these things that we struggle with and how to get that relief so that we can move on to the well-being and the vitality and the health that we know is our absolute birthright as human beings here, especially in the 21st century, especially in this great world that we live in. So before I bring her along, I just want to let you know that, as I mentioned earlier, Dr. Dean is a medical doctor. She's also a naturopath, and she's a heck of a dancer, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to throw that in. And she knows a lot of good stuff, but she's not going to give medical advice on her radio show because that's a big no-no. But what she will do is she will talk about what she would do if she were in your shoes, and she's probably been in your shoes. She's put herself in some pretty funky shoes to figure all this out, and she's here with us tonight to speak to us about all of us. So without further ado, we will welcome our very own absolutely glorious Dr. Carolyn Dean.
Thank you, Ginny. Thank you so much. Yes, we are blessed. We are blessed, and we pass those blessings along. I was thinking how cool it is, our show, although we don't have advertisements like a lot of iPods that I listen to. They'll stop every few minutes and have an ad. We don't have advertisements. Our show is one big ad for what we are doing to give people protocols that will save their lives. Basically, that's what we're doing. And we have been starting off the show lately with a few things about how to refer your practitioner so that your practitioner can get involved with our wholesale practitioner line so we can reach more people. We do have referral candy where you refer a friend and you get some sort of gift. What do people get with referral candy, Ginny?
If they buy the products and what happens, and then they refer somebody, what happens is they get a 15% discount, and so does their friend. So it's a nice way to keep yourself in a permanent discount if you want to.
Right. Excellent. And now we have the home blood test kit for magnesium, vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids, and TSH, because we really want to know if what we're recommending is working for you. And if it's not, we'll give you better or more recommendations. And this is really important to do. It's something, as I said, you can do in your home. You don't need a doctor's prescription. What Jenny has decided to do to make it much more accessible is instead of you paying for the kit and your next couple of months of complement formulas, the price of the kit you will get in discount coupons for our products. So it means the kit doesn't cost you anything. So, I mean, golly, when do people give free things away anymore? But we're so committed to doing research to find out if what you are getting with our products or with whatever you're taking is adding up in terms of your blood testing. And the magnesium test is an RBC magnesium test. And we're getting more and more committed because of other research we're doing, our magnesium deficiency assessment, the survey that we have on our website, so that new customers coming to the website, they answer questions about anxiety, insomnia, muscle cramps, heart palpitations, restless legs, and headaches. Those are some of the major symptoms of magnesium deficiency. I certainly suffered from insomnia, muscle cramps, heart palpitations, and headaches. And what we found, which is astounding and scary, is that 64.3% of people have anxiety, 63.8% have insomnia, 51.7% have muscle cramps, 46.6% have heart palpitations, 42.6% have restless legs, and 28.1% have headaches. So we know we have answers to people who have these problems because these are magnesium deficiency symptoms. We know we have a better answer in terms of a better magnesium that's fully absorbed without the laxative effect, that turns people around, as someone was saying to me today, sometimes within a week. People who've had long-term problems don't have them anymore. And I'm just sort of looking for a testimonial here where someone was asking me about, let's see if I can find it, about our magnesium, the quality of it, the high quality of it. And Jeff says, a coworker had a bottle of a brand of ionic magnesium, and I tried it and got absolutely zero results compared to yours. So I'm wondering, why that is. And I said, you answered your own question. This stuff is not a highly concentrated, stabilized ionic magnesium. It's just a magnesium compound dissolved in water, so it's not well absorbed. It's cheap to make and cheap to sell, and it doesn't work. It's very difficult to educate the public about quality when all they're looking for is cheapness. So that is our kind of our mission and our problem, especially when you have internet sales, which that's what we are, internet sales, although we're putting Remag and our other products in doctors' offices as well. But on the internet, people look for cheapness. Fortunately, on Amazon, they'll also look for customer reviews, and we're building up a lot of good customer reviews. And bottom line, it's the proof is in the pudding. You have to eat the pudding to get the proof. And we're getting more and more people doing that. And I guess that's where we're moving into promoting our practitioner referrals, which you can get involved with, and our referral candy. What the blog is today is to kind of give you an insight into how we're approaching our practitioners. Ginny's blog that goes out every Monday, and we use it as a cornerstone for our show of that day. And it's called Why I Call Magnesium a Miracle. And Ginny starts it off, an overview of magnesium. I'll go into it in a minute. But then she goes into cardiovascular disease and references, diabetes and medical references, migraines, osteoporosis, aging, and stress, all referenced. Neuropathy, I'm just scanning down here. And what this is with the references is an example of the booklet that we give to our customers and we give to our practitioners. And with the practitioners, we also give a couple of 4-ounce samples of our Remag. And the 65 conditions that I've documented are related to magnesium deficiency and which are not treated with magnesium. They're treated with drugs, making the whole thing very convoluted and very much of a downward spiral for the people who have magnesium deficiency symptoms and they're not treated properly with magnesium. And why we're talking about it on the show today, why we're giving it out to the practitioners, is that we really can't talk about this in promoting our Remag product. The Internet is being limited more and more to what the FDA says, what the AMA says, what the drug companies say. And when you look at medical sites about magnesium, they may give a half a dozen medical conditions that are related to magnesium deficiency. They won't go into the 65. You're only going to be learning about the 65 if you read my Magnesium Miracle book, if you refer your practitioner and get this booklet about the 65 conditions, or if you listen to this radio show. And, you know, that may be curtailed at some point where certain parties are just not willing to allow the public to learn about their health conditions and the fact that nutrients can help them. So every week we're going to be discussing our practitioner referral system and the referral candy to partner with you, our listeners, and our customers to spread the word about magnesium enough that it's going to make a difference in people's lives. So, Ginny's blog is at drcarolyndeanlive.com. It's Why I Call Magnesium a Miracle. And the piece starts out with me being asked by Random House in 1999 to write the Magnesium Miracle. And it wasn't long into my research before I realized my nightly Charlie horse leg cramps, heart palpitations, insomnia, neck and back muscle spasms were due to magnesium deficiency. When I began to supplement, I noticed my symptoms starting to subside. Magnesium is necessary for the activation and proper function of 1,000 enzyme systems in the body. The next highest, I think, they don't really make this clear, but maybe zinc at about 170 enzyme systems. Magnesium catalyzes most of the chemical reactions in the body. It synthesizes proteins, stabilizes RNA and DNA, transmits nerve signals, relaxes muscles, whereas calcium contracts muscles. 6 of the 8 steps to make energy, which is called ATP, in the mitochondrial Krebs cycle require magnesium, yet it's often dismissed as just a laxative. It's also dismissed because there are no readily available lab tests to find out how much magnesium is truly in your cells. I mean, We know that test is the ionized magnesium test. There is an ionized calcium test, you better believe it, but not a magnesium test that's available in the 5,000 labs in the U.S. It's just available in research labs. We're working with this test in our university research, but with a focus on making known the fact that ionized magnesium testing is superior, to try to get other labs to use this test. Mitochondrial dysfunction is a hot topic with researchers drilling down into these digestive organelles that make ATP to find out why they aren't working. I say if you saturate your mitochondria with enough magnesium to do their job, the whole system revs up and begins working more efficiently. These impressive facts make magnesium the main building block for the body and the primary nutrient that your patients and customers and that everybody requires. I think this text is taken from the compendium about the 65 conditions. Ginny, I forget what the name of the book I wrote is, the 65 conditions.
It's the the magnesium, okay, I'm going to look.
I know, I've written far too many books. I cannot remember.
So many books. We can't keep up with them all. Where is it? The Definitive Practitioner Guide. Yes, there we go. The Definitive Practitioner Guide to Magnesium Deficiency Condition. There we go.
Very good. So, yes, so this text, when I'm saying here the primary nutrient that your patients require, that reminded me that it was from the Definitive Guide. So magnesium paves the way for most biochemical functions in the body and works synergistically with most other minerals and vitamins. If you go to truehealthcanada.ca, what was that? As a matter of fact, if you're able to, there's a typo in there. Somehow Lorraine in Canada, her website got put in there. So we'll take that out. As a matter of fact, if you're able to saturate the body with enough magnesium, up to 65 different disease conditions may be eliminated because they're created by magnesium deficiency in the first place. So then I go over cardiovascular disease and get people to look up Dr. James DiNiccolo Antonio's paper about subclinical magnesium deficiency, a principal driver of cardiovascular disease and a public health crisis. I mean, how much more focus can you get? And we just don't know if people are even listening, if doctors are even reading these papers. Under diabetes, we talk about magnesium is necessary to make and secrete insulin. Magnesium facilitates carbohydrate metabolism. It allows insulin to transfer glucose into the cells. Otherwise, glucose and insulin build up in the blood, causing various types of tissue damage and weight gain. Tyrosine kinase, an enzyme that allows glucose entry into the cell, along with insulin, is magnesium dependent. And 7 of the 10 enzymes needed to metabolize glucose in the process called glycolysis are magnesium dependent. I mean, how much clearer do we have to be about diabetes being, at least in part, a result of magnesium deficiency? So you take your Remag, you cut out your sugar, and you stop your diabetes. And I have several references below that entry. Magnesium and migraines. By 2012, Dr. Alexander Muskop had sufficient clinical success and had published enough about treating migraines with magnesium to title his last paper, Why All Migraine Patients Should Be Treated with Magnesium. Stop. I mean, that's amazing. He said that, he believed it, and he wasn't even using the best magnesium. Osteoporosis, several references here, or maybe it's just the metadata from 7 studies involving postmenopausal women showed that they did much better when they had a higher serum magnesium. Aging, this section about aging goes into an incredible paper, 2014, called Atherogenesis, Cardiovascular Disease, and Aging. The senior authors were Doctors Burton and Bella Altura, who did the foreword to the Magnesium Miracle, and they went into telomerase or telomerase. This is the factor, the enzyme that can change your telomere size. It's a little bit convoluted, but you can read this blog, get the name of the study, and then Google it online. It's available online. And it's a great overview of the Altura's decades and decades of study on magnesium.
What was the date of the first guy you mentioned? You said he didn't even use modern magnesium or something.
2012, that's Muskop in his work on migraines. He was a New York doctor, actually. I could have met him if I'd known. So aging and magnesium deficiency. And actually, this is pretty huge these days, because of our aging baby boomers. They want to know how to stay young and feel young. So let me read this out. Aging is now agreed to be critical in the etiology of metabolic decline in most subjects as they close in on their 65th birthday. Many subjects at 65 years of age show signs of metabolic decline, atherosclerosis, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, and often type 2 diabetes, which eventually contribute to congestive heart failure by their 75th to 85th year. It is thus of considerable interest to remind the reader that all these attributes have been associated both experimentally and clinically with the presence of magnesium-deficient states where they have been looked for and measured properly. Aging process is also associated with an increase in the levels of pro-inflammatory cytokines in tissues and cells, all present in magnesium-deficient animals, tissues, and different cell types. So there's your anti-aging factors right there, the magnesium, especially REMAG. Stress is a huge concern of ours because people just get themselves so worked up, they deplete their adrenaline. That leads to thyroid depletion. They either overeat or undereat. And it all can, seriously, it can be turned around by taking magnesium. We just heard the last week or two about Kendall, one of our customers who was calling into us for almost a year, and she got over her incredible anxiety that was driven by her heart palpitations. And now Ginny said we heard from her, and she's got her own business, and it's just flying high. It's amazing. Neuropathy is another huge magnesium deficiency condition. And what happens there is that insufficient magnesium and the relative excess of calcium will cause sustained nerve excitation in any nerve cell in the body. Magnesium alleviates the following nerve disturbances that can occur: burning pain, muscle weakness, numbness, paralysis, pins and needles, seizures and convulsions, skin sensitivity, tingling, twitching, vertigo, and confusion. I've seen reversal of these symptoms in many patients and my customers. The following is a small sample of the available literature showing the interest in diabetes and the neuropathy that goes along with diabetes. and a review of the importance of magnesium in treating migraine headaches as they relate to the neuropathies. So on and on and on.
These are recent studies going into deeper effects of magnesium.
Yeah.
Were there studies like this 20, 30, 40 years ago?
There were. I've chosen studies from 2000 on, mostly from 2010 on, because people tend to look at the older studies now. I mean, that was then. But, yeah, I mean, the Alters have been doing studies for decades. I mean, when I met them in 1999, they'd already done 1,000 research papers. So,
And they weren't recognized on a very broad level, were they?
No, not publicly recognized in academia, in the magnesium world. And Ginny and I saw that when we went to the NIH. Incredible studies coming out, and nothing is making mainstream. And even when I was writing the Magnesium Miracle book and I approached the Alters, I was told by people who I asked about, well, the Alters, do you think they'd write it forward? Oh, no, they're academics. They don't want to get involved with the public. And fortunately, by the time I approached them, they were so fed up with the fact that nobody was listening. Their words and work weren't getting out to the public. I mean, there are no magnesium, quote, drug reps that go and knock on doctors' doors. And that's what's required, and that's what we're asking of our customers right now, to think about a practitioner that you think would be interested in magnesium and give us their name, ask them if they'll accept some information about magnesium, give us their name, and we'll send you the definitive guide, and we'll send the doctor the definitive guide and a couple of bottles of Remag samples. So this is how we have to get the word out, because the word is not getting out. Okay, Bob? Bob's gone to mute.
Okay.
He's supposed to do, as he is supposed to do. Okay, Ginny.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
No.
Never worried about Bob, that's for sure.
No. Okay, so that's the blog. As I said, you've even either actually gotten it in your email today, and you can also get it at drcarolyndeanlive.com. If you got it in your email, forward it to friends, family, doctors. Just get on board with this. If we're going to turn this world around, I know that requires magnesium saturation. I'm firmly convinced of that.
Absolutely.
Okay, Jenny, anything to add?
No, that was beautiful. No, that was beautiful. We have questions on the chat and callers.
Okay. Let me just do first a customer service testimonial from Sandy, our good friend Sandy, Goddess Sandy. She says, can you find a better support team? Personally, I say no. Have I tried? No. You don't have to look any further when you have the best and you know it. Would I recommend them to anyone? Yes. I tell a lot of people that they can call the best support team, have the best products, and free access to one of the most informed, highly educated doctors in the USA today. My health and my life are better today because of Dr. Dean, her health-improving products, and wonderful support team. They are the future. They are ahead of the times. With gratitude, Sandy.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Yes, hold on, please. Yeah, I really can't say enough about the customer support team. I mean, everybody, Doug, Julie, Melody Rose started writing blogs. People are like, where's Melody Rose? Oh, she's there. She's there all the time. She's doing all kinds of things. And we've got Megan and Lisa Wright, and I said Doug and Julie. I mean, everybody's just amazing, and our warehouse team is absolutely incredible, too. We've just got great people. They really care. and they love what they're doing, and they love the products, and they know their own successes with them and how it's affected their family. I mean, it's just a really inspiring scene all the way around. But yeah, customer service is awesome.
Right. They're on the products, for Pete's sakes. You know, they know what the products are doing for them personally. And it's not like they get on the phone and talk about themselves and, oh, do this, do that. They don't get involved with you medically. But when they say their words have substance, and their words are solid because they take the products. They don't want to just sell you a doorknob. They want you to be educated to know that you want our doorknobs and that our doorknobs are going to help you. Right, Ginny?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Ginny, I know you're... when Ginny takes a few seconds to get back to me, she's multitasking, she's following the chat, she's looking at the phone calls, and she's on mute in case her dear little doggies are running about, right?
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. One can never tell what might happen in the background around this place. Exactly. Okay, well, what
do you want to do next?
Well, let's say that for those who are on the call but are on the line but haven't raised your hand, 602-666-6027 is the number to call, and you've got to hit *5 on your keypad. *5 will raise your hand and let me know you've got a question or comment. Right now, I only have 1 or 2 callers, but I got lots of new people, so be sure to hit that *5, and we'll get rolling with our phone calls here in just a second. And I want to just go over a couple questions that came in early, one of which was, our dear friend Belinda. Greeting, fellow souls. It's great to be here. And, of course, Nancy L., she always types in every week. And just thank you, everybody, for being with us tonight. Lanny said, what are your thoughts on taurine for AFib? George Ebby, paper online suggests 10,000 to 20,000 milligrams per day. AFibers.org says 1,000 to 4,000 milligrams per day. Another website says taurine may bind with magnesium, making them both unavailable for the body.
Well, gosh, I know. There are too many people. Well, George Ebby, I know George. He's really into magnesium. He got in touch with me decades ago. He actually sponsored one of our trips to Washington to the senators. We had a little reception for them, gave out books to try to educate the senators. I don't know if that went anywhere. But George is a layperson, but very involved with magnesium. Looks like taurine now. Well, yeah, we love taurine. We put taurine in our Real Line. We know taurine is important for the heart. But what happens, Lanny, when people say, oh, you got to take 1,000 milligrams or whatever, they start with the animal studies. So they knock everything else out of their nutrients, give a whole bunch of taurine, and see what it does. But that's not how the body, rolls. The body needs the taurine, the magnesium, all the remite minerals, all the B vitamins, and they don't need them all in super, super high doses. I mean, our 200 milligrams twice a day of taurine is quite enough when it's taken with the Remag and the remite minerals. I mean, it's just common sense. All these studies, when they test one thing, will use huge amounts to get a reaction. And it is very often a synthetic reaction because it's not in the way the body normally works and the way the body wants to take in the nutrients and make them work synergistically. I mean, it's just... chat into us. Tell me, does that make sense? So, we love taurine. It's in Real Line. Take it. Next.
Very good. Excellent. Okay, excellent. Let's see. Also, Suzanne. Suzanne, does recalcium vitamin D need K2 and MK7 supplementation? If so, do you have a recommendation for K2? Any research if recalcium could cause soft plaque in the arteries?
The K2 we recommend is in our Blue Ice Royal. We recommend Blue Ice Royal, which is a food. It's not a synthetic. It's not sheep lanolin. So it's got K2. Vitamin A, which is very necessary for actually working with copper, something about the ceruloplasm needing the vitamin A, or you don't bind up the copper properly to bring it to the cells. It's a little detailed, but vitamin A is very important. And the Blue Ice Royal also has vitamin D. And what we're doing with our home testing kit, our grassroots home testing kit, is testing people to see if they're getting enough vitamin D from the Blue Ice Royal. And if they're not, then I'm recommending a plant lichen, L-I-C-H-E-N, vitamin D. But I'm recommending that you keep on your Blue Ice Royal to get the vitamin A and the vitamin K2 from food sources, the fermented cod liver oil and butter oil. And what else? The recalcia. No, I mean, we haven't done the $1 million study to put 1,000 people on recalcia and see if it's bad for them. What I do know is our recalcia is a stabilized ion of calcium, and it works much like food calcium, which is pretty well absorbed, the calcium from food. And my recommendation is to only take 600 milligrams of food calcium and or recalcia. That's the way you stop calcium from building up in soft tissues. That, along with the saturation doses of Remag, anywhere from 600 to 1,200 milligrams of Remag, which is the 2 to 4 teaspoons, because what magnesium does, even more than the K2, is keeps calcium soluble and directs calcium into the bones and teeth and away from soft tissues. I mean, we've had those reports, from day one. Of the most amazing one that I heard in the beginning was an older woman took herself off Depends diapers because she stopped having urine leaks because she felt that her calcified bladder and urethra were no longer calcified. We've had ultrasounds of people who've been taking Remag and their carotid artery was no longer blocked with calcium. So did Lanny ask Suzanne ask anything else?
Nope, that was the basis of her question there. That's good.
Okay.
Okay,
Next.
Very good. Let's go to our phone calls again, 602-666-6027, and we'll hit *5 on the keypad to pick up those callers who are interested in talking with Dr. Dean this evening, as I feel that everyone should be, of course. We'll go out to Denver, Colorado first, area code 303. 303, you're on the line with Dr. Dean this evening. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Hey there, it's Lisa. Soon to be calling in from Panama.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Lisa and Christy are our friends that lived in Shanghai. I keep wanting to say Singapore, but you were in Shanghai, right?
Always calling in from Shanghai, and now I'll be calling in from Panama. But we're leaving in a couple hours. We're in Denver right now, but we're leaving in a couple hours on a one-way ticket to Panama. But I have a wonderful.
Go ahead.
I have a wonderful, wonderful friend on the line. She's my neighbor. known me 20 years. She was the first person the day we moved in to come over with a basket of goodies and welcoming us to the neighborhood. So she's been my true and dear friend ever since. And I got back from Hawaii and was talking with her, and it turns out she had a scary Thanksgiving and was diagnosed with atrial fibrillation, and they put her in the hospital, and they put her on some medications. And it's quite expensive, and I know she's quite scared about it. And I just thought of you, Dr. Carolyn. So she's on the line. Her name is Peg. And
hi.
Hi, Peg. Thank you for being such sweet friends to my friends, Lisa and Christy. we could bond on that alone. Yes, they are.
Right.
Okay, Peg, let's get to it. How old are you?
80.
Ah, very good. You sound way younger than 80, I'll tell you that. And
well, thank you.
What happened? Did your heart, tell me what happened briefly.
I went to the after-hours clinic thinking I had pneumonia because I had had a bad cough, and I am prone to bronchitis and pneumonia. When I got in there and they put the blood pressure cuff on me, they panicked and put me in an ambulance and sent me to the hospital with atrial fibrillation. I did not know I had it, did not feel it, did not have any idea that that was going on. They kept me for 2 days and put me on blood thinner and more blood pressure medicine. And it's scary.
Right. Now, you said more blood pressure medicine. So does that mean you were on blood pressure medicine before that?
I was on labetalol. It was not real high, but and it kept it controlled, and I didn't really have any symptoms that I knew of for it.
Right.
But when I would go into the office, it would register a little above.
Right. And what? Little above, yeah. Was there pneumonia? What happened? What did they say about your lungs?
No. There was some rattling, but they put me on prednisone to open the bronchial tubes, and I am over that. And I only took the prednisone for 4 days, I think.
Okay, so what Lisa will do is download my book on heart health. It used to be a book just about atrial fibrillation because it's so common, but now I cover other heart conditions. But it's a free book that you can download from the Internet. And what seems to be happening in our population, mostly in people from 50 to 90, is especially if they've been on a medication, all the heart medications deplete magnesium. And magnesium is highest in the heart. And when magnesium gets depleted, then this magnesium being an electrolyte, when it's down, then the heart electrical activity goes askew. And then you're told you have a heart problem, whereas basically it's a magnesium problem. And 80% of the population is deficient in it. Like I said, when you're on your beta blocker blood pressure medication, that will deplete magnesium over time. And then just eventually most people do get their heart jumping around. You have asymptomatic AFib. There's a lot of controversy now on whether or not to treat it, but, doctors get scared and they'll put you on a blood thinner so you don't develop a clot, and that's okay. You can stay on. Solves your your electrolyte problem, and then when you get tested again, you don't have AFib, then you won't need the blood thinner. So that's
good,
what I
can't
see
afford
happening. Oh gosh, no, that's terrible. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what you could do about the pricing? They've gone all giddy over these new blood thinners that are very expensive. But you could ask them if you could switch to warfarin. Warfarin, that's the
yes, or what? Coumadin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
And then you have to go be blood tested once. What, every
right
week or every few days?
Right. But see, what I'm saying is, if you learn about your from my book, if you learn about this AFib, if you take our Remag and get your electrolytes back in order, then that should settle down the electrical conductivity of the heart. So, I mean, there's every chance that you'll balance this out because, like you say, there's no symptoms. You have a reason for magnesium deficiency, which is taking the beta blocker, and you can get over this. And I guess basically the next thing is for you to read the book, and then if you have questions from reading the book, you can call our wonderful customer service and get in touch with someone there.
I am already taking the Remag and Remite. I had sporadically ever since I met Lisa, but when she left me to go to Shanghai, I got lazy and did not take it regularly. But she got me back on track yesterday, and I have been taking it. So I guess maybe I should know what dose would be good to be on now in the beginning.
Yes, you work up to, maybe in the case where you're on the medication, I'd say 3 teaspoons. I would personally take 3 teaspoons a day of Remag and 1.5 of Remite.
Okay. But not starting that right now.
No, work up to that amount. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like Lisa told you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Peg? Are you okay now to start, to go forward, and reading the book will give you a lot more confidence of what you're doing, and take away the worry and fear that they put into you by telling you that you have a heart condition. And I don't believe that's true.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good to meet you, Peg. Thank you, Lisa.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Take care.
Appreciate you so much. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay, sweetie. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty. Bye. Yes, bye, Peg.
All right. Excellent. Wonderful, wonderful. 602-666-6027. Again, the number to call this evening if you'd like to talk with Dr. Carolyn Dean. You've got to hit *5 on your keypad to raise your hand in our phone center and let us know that you're on the line. Otherwise, your phone will remain on mute, and we won't be able to hear you talking. So, again, *5. Let's go to area code 213. 213, you're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Hi, is that me?
Yes, that's you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. This is Zelda, and okay, so I started on Pico Silver, Remag, and Remite. I take 1 teaspoon, I think, of the Remag and a half a teaspoon of the Remite and 4 cups of water and the salt. And I have an ileostomy, and I have noticed that. Well, first of all, I haven't been using the picosilver on my lymph nodes the way I did it first. Now I just sort of take it when I feel like I need it, internally. But maybe I should go back to that because I was feeling pretty good and I felt like, wow, maybe there's something really to this. And then I maybe some days I didn't get the water together, and there was a lot of stress in my life in dealing with a particular performance of a music group, and just a lot going on. And then late nights, different things with these events that were lasting late into the night, and so it's like my whole schedule is like discombobulated. And so one of the things I noticed was that, a lot of nervous tension lately, more so than before, that it sort of had an impact on me. And the other thing I noticed was that because of the ileostomy, the liquid output at night seems to be much more than it was in the past, and it depends on what I eat. So I know yours is not supposed to, but because, actually I have no colon, so the amount that gets reabsorbed is less than, what other people have. Sure. And I'm wondering, as a strategy possibly, whether, what your ideas are. And what my ideas are is, occasionally I'll take like a capsule with slippery elm or psyllium.
Yeah, right. Okay, good. Let me go through this.
Okay.
First of all, with what you told us, months ago when you first called, I just looked up the file.
Thank you.
You're not taking enough. You're not taking enough Remag.
Okay.
No, 1 teaspoon is barely the required daily dosage or whatever they call it.
Okay, so continue to build. All right.
Yes, absolutely. And even the Remide, personally, with what you've got going, I would say the 2.5, 3 teaspoons of Remag and 1.5 Remide. And what you can do with a half, even 1 teaspoon, is spray that all over your lymph area, spray it on your body. We're talking more about Remag spray lately because we've hit a kind of a roadblock with our Remag lotion. Ginny, do people know that? Am I supposed to reveal that?
Well, we're still in the process of sorting it out. We are reformulating it and doing new packaging because so many people were having problems with the pump. We still have some in stock. We're getting a emergency shipment from our manufacturing partner that's going to tide us over, but we're looking for a little bit of a revamp with the Remag lotion. So, but in a pinch, Remag spray is always the way to go, too, because it's right there. You don't have to order anything if you've got a bottle of Remag. I think I mixed some of
the Remag in with the body lotion.
Yes, exactly. That's what you do. So thank you, Ginny. So people can still order Remag lotion, but they know they can all immediately
either spray it or add it to their regular creams. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So because you, on the 1 teaspoon, you were doing well and feeling better, this happens to a lot of people. So I'm going to, we only have a minute. We'll carry over into the next hour in a minute, Zelda, so hang on. When people feel better, they tend to get slack.
Yes.
You cannot get slack. You have stuff that has gone on in the past, and you have to stay vigilant about your health. And the reason why the nervous tension came back maybe even more than before, there was the stress and everything, but you pissed off your body, Zelda, by cutting back on what you were taking, and it was used to having that teaspoon of Remag. You didn't even give it that, and it starts to say, where's my magnesium? Zelda, you're letting me down. So that's what happened. That's why it's a little worse. And now you know, and you're not going to go there anymore. And the liquid output, absolutely. Not a capsule of psyllium. You might even be taking a teaspoon of psyllium powder to help slow things down. So that may be enough information. You can think about it over the top of the hour break, and come back, stay on the line, and then come back and let me know you have other questions, okay?
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have one other question.
Very good. Okay, Ginny, we're at the top of the hour, or what happened to the top of the hour?
Yes, we are. We're at the top of the back live with...
We'll be back with Hour 2 of Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean, along with host Ginny Gunther, after this brief station break. You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is AchieveRadio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AchieveRadio.
What city plays?
The old categories. They don't apply anymore. And we're just superhuman, discarnate things right now.
What city plays?
We're well beyond the categories for men and women right now. And we're just superhuman, discarnate things right now.
Give me body.
Bring back the body.
Give me body.
Bring back the body.
Give me body.
I do advocate immediate fast to bring back the body.
Give me body.
Bring back the body.
Give me body.
AchieveRadio.com.
Here we go now. Go to the Carolyn. Here we go now. Here we go now. The wellness scene with Dr. D. Here we go now. Here we go now. Go to the Wellness with Dr. D.
Welcome back, everybody. Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on Achieve Radio, Hour 2, coming right at you. I'm Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty, and we're here with Dr. Dean, continuing our conversation from Hour 1 with Zelda. Go ahead, ladies.
Okay, thank you. One thing is that it's really hard for me to keep weight on, and that I think the wait a minute, no, it was a CT and an ultrasound of the abdomen showed something going on in the kidneys. What did they say it was? There was one kidney stone.
You said earlier it was cysts.
Yeah.
Cysts, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people will cyst up. Some people are prone to cyst. If they didn't, press the panic button, then it's likely just a normal variant.
What I'm noticing is that usually, say, when I wake up and sometime during the middle of the night, that particular time, there's a little bit, I don't know what I'm feeling, is either like a little bit of stinging or is it sediment or something going through that's less comfortable, and all the other times are feeling normal.
How do you mean sediment when you get up to urinate?
Yeah, or I shouldn't use that word. Sediment has a specific medical term, but what I'm trying to say is, as the flow is going on, there's a bit of stinging, as if something was coming through that was different than the other times. Just the feeling of it.
Now, do you mean stinging into your ileostomy bag? Or
No, just urinating, in terms of urination.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's you getting rid of toxins in my experience.
Okay.
You know, it's just look upon it as your REMAG has stirred up your detoxification pathways and you're getting rid of crap. It might mean you need a little more water just to dilute the toxins a bit more. I know that can increase the liquid in your bowels, but just work with the psyllium an hour away from food or supplements, and that will help all around.
Okay.
Okay?
What about, and the slippery elm, what do you think of that?
It's awesome. It's excellent for, what are you doing? Yes, it's a bit of a binder, and it's a healthy binder, so you can use that, yes.
Okay. And also I notice as I'm sleeping, especially hot flashes from time, like once or twice during the night. I just turned 68.
Yeah.
I'm well past menopause.
Yeah, but the hot flashes, again, that can be a toxicity reaction, the body just trying to sweat out toxins. So, Zelda, maybe you should look at my Reset the Yeast Connection book about yeast and see if maybe there's something going on there.
Okay.
Because, there's a couple of things now I'm saying about toxicity. But the REMAG is going to help the hot flashes as well. So you'll call back in about 3 months, 3 months, and let us know how the increased magnesium is helping you. Okay?
Fabulous. Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good talking to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Excellent. Let's go to area code 630. 630, you're on the line with Dr. Dean. Thanks for holding. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
This is Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know if it was really me. Thank you. So my question is, I have a kind of a complicated health history, which I don't want to go into all the pieces, but I have a lot of muscle pain and joint pain. A year ago, I realized that I was overdoing, and that's an understatement, green smoothies to the point of 3,000 milligrams of oxalate smoothie.
Right.
So I've corrected that, but it's a long journey back to feeling healthy. I've had kidney issues and other growths on my organs, but that were all benign, but they're still there nonetheless. So my question is, I'm listening, and I've been taking magnesium, but I have stopped, so I learned from the previous caller, and now I'm continuing. I've ordered your REMAG. Can the magnesium deficiency cause spasms in the muscles? And that includes not just the legs, the thighs, the bottom of the feet, but the actual bowels. I feel such wiggling in my bowels, and it feels painful. My intercostal muscles in my ribs, everything aches.
Yeah. Well, I know that can be the case from my own personal experience. I think my stomach, intestinal cramps, where I didn't know it was IBS. It was my first year of medical school. And so you can imagine the stress. And I'd already had years of back pain and tension. That was magnesium deficiency. I've had back spasms that have thrown me in bed. I've had to wear braces on my low back for magnesium deficiency back spasms. I used to twist in a certain way, and all along my ribs would go into spasms. So, yeah, any joint, any muscle can be affected by magnesium deficiency. And if you're a busy, stressed-out person, then every time you stress or strain one of those muscles, it can react. So it sounds like that's what can be happening with you.
Well, what you just described about your ribs and just bending and everything hurting. That's exactly how I feel, and it's out of control.
Right.
It's so bad.
Yeah. Well, you can saturate. I mean, like me, at 70, I feel like I'm in my 20s, and 20s without the spasms, because I was spasming in my 20s and 30s and 40s, and finally started getting into magnesium. I even had rectal spasms. I would get a spasm in my lower rectum that would just shoot pain up through my body. I had no idea what was happening, and of course, even though I was in medical school and I'm a doctor, I wouldn't go to a doctor for it because I knew it was just bizarre. So anyway, yes, it's spasms to the extreme. I have had customers who've had surgery on their muscles because they had such horrible, painful spasms. They had surgery, which was, it's horrible to think that they would cut into a muscle and it being a magnesium deficiency. So with oxalates, go ahead.
I'm hopeful. Continue. I'm hopeful by listening to you.
Right. Yeah, with the oxalates, it can affect, you can get kidney stones or kidney reactions, as you've probably read. People may not realize this, but you brought up an important point about, if you go into these green smoothies to try to get your nutrients, the soil is so depleted of magnesium, you're not getting your nutrients, which could balance out the oxalates, and you're just getting these the phytins. You're getting things that are binding your minerals instead of getting your nutrients. But anyway, you know all that.
Well, I went overboard, and that's an understatement. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you get that impression from the internet that the more the better. But they. With a lack of minerals in these vegetables, yet they still have the oxalates and the different things that bind minerals. So what you do with the Remag then when you get a hold of that is start slowly, a quarter teaspoon. We tell people to put that in 16 ounces of sea salted water because the sea salt has 72 minerals that we're also depleted in, and then you'll add our Remite for the other minerals and slowly saturate your body and find that it eases what may be the oxalate buildup, maybe even calcium buildup in your muscles and joints. Certainly magnesium relaxes muscles, and if you don't have enough, then the muscles stay tight with whatever calcium you're eating. And the greens, actually, that's a good point. They tend to have more calcium than magnesium these days. So you're probably a bit calcified as well.
Okay. That makes sense.
So, there's lots more, but I have all the free ebooks at drcarolyndeanlive.com under books, and you sound like you're a good researcher, so you'll read some of that information. If you have questions, you'll come back or call our customer service or email support@rnareset.com and get all your questions answered. Okay?
Thank you. I will. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Perfect. Thanks, Chris. Bye-bye.
Very good. Excellent. Okay, let's go. We've got callers holding in Naples and also in Canada, area code 905. You're on the line with Dr. Carolyn Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Hi, Dr. Dean. My name is Mary. I have a question regarding my 16-year-old son who we've gone to the doctor because he noticed large white spots under his nails. At first I thought on the one nail it looked like he had banged it and some trauma, but then it's kind of spread. So my doctor's not sure if there's a fungus growing under his nails, so has taken a picture of it and has sent it to a dermatologist to look at. So my question to you is, do you suggest I put him on a probiotic? I have purchase the probiotic and oregano oil to maybe spread on the nails and ingest.
Now, when you say under the nails, Mary, is it something you can scrape off from underneath the nail that's growing out, or is it under the nail beds, or is it on the nail?
It's where it is it's closest to the skin, so at the bottom portion of the nail, like the curved half moon, that's where we're noticing it first.
Oh.
And then one of his nails looks like... Pardon?
Yeah, close to the moon, the half moon. I get it.
That's correct. Yeah. And then he feels like one's a little indented almost. So I don't know, is it an actual fungus? We don't really know. I'm waiting to hear what the doctor's going to tell us.
Right, because it's hard to scrape that if it's underneath. But have you, white spots in the nails? I can't see the picture. Maybe you could send us one. But white spots on the nails tend to be a zinc deficiency.
Now, it's a big spot, like this one in particular. Like, that's why I thought he had injured himself, because it's the whole half moon, kind of. And then it looks indented. So, I don't know.
He could have. The two, the differential diagnosis is fungus or zinc deficiency. But, fungus is more under the, where the nail protrudes, under the nail where you cut it off. A fungus is hard to grow right under the nail.
Yeah, because the doctor said I can't even... Yeah, the doctor said I can't even scrape that.
Sample it.
Right, yeah, because she said she'd really have to... Yeah, so...
Okay, so Google fingernail white spots, zinc deficiency. See if you can find some pictures that are like your son's. And in the meantime, what we have is Remite. It's a multiple mineral with zinc in it. It's a stabilized ion of zinc. It's a low potency, but it's natural. Body's able
I just ordered it, so I'm waiting for that to come in. So first time I've ordered, so yeah, I'm waiting for it. Okay.
And the Remag would also be helpful. For getting the immune system kicked in place. If it's a zinc, but I don't know. Does your son have athlete's foot or any toenail fungus?
No, he doesn't. But about 2 weeks before that, he had developed a rash, and the doctors thought it was hand, foot, and mouth.
Oh. Because when you look at fungal rashes, yeah, yuck. I know it's like a hoof disease. Because when you look at fungal nails, they tend to be more yellowish and really kind of corrugated and all the rest of it. So, I'll go with white spots on nails and zinc deficiency first. And in terms of what you do about the fungus part, what we do there, Mary, is soak a cotton batten or a small cotton ball in our Pico Silver. It's an antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, and people are working on their fungal nails with that. Fungal fingernails are not common, and that's another thing you probably know, and your doctor probably said. So, you can work all the angles, the Pico Silver for fungus and the Remite for the zinc and the Remag for the immune system. Okay?
Okay, what do you think about probiotics?
Oh, right. Yeah, well, with the whole yeast business, yeast overgrowth does tend to be associated with fungal infections. What you would do is go to our drcarolyndeanlive.com website, look under books for the Reset Your Yeast Connection. and have your son take the yeast questionnaire and see if he might have yeast overgrowth. And then the probiotics would be something you would take to help a yeast overgrowth. In the meantime, you can just get him on some good sauerkraut, some foods that have natural probiotics.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you so very much. Okay.
Okay, but keep us posted, Mary, because, I'm always interested in something that's a bit, offside.
Well, it's funny because he's upstairs listening to you on my computer, and I'm in the basement, so I can't wait to hear what he thinks.
Hey there, son. We're going to fix you up. Don't worry. The worst is over.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Dean.
Mary.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, outstanding. Off we go to the great state of Florida, Naples, Florida. You're on the line with Dr. Carolyn Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Hi, Dr. Dean. My name is Virgilio, and I'm here from Florida. My question is, I work for a landscaping company, and I spray pesticides, and I've been working in the landscape industry for the last 32 years, so I work outside all the time. So last year I started having anxiety attacks. I went to the hospital. They couldn't find anything. They gave me high blood pressure medication. I'm 45 years old, originally from Mexico. And what happened is, fast forward this year, 2 weeks ago, I started feeling a lot of arrhythmias again. I had a lot of arrhythmias, like my heart was going to pop out of my chest. I had a lot of anxiety, so I went to the hospital. This is the fifth time that I'm being in the hospital. I was there for 2 days. They did EKGs, they did electrocardiograms, they did a nuclear test, a stress test, everything. They couldn't find anything. All what they come out with was they just give me anxiety medication, but I'm very, very wary. I don't really want to take it. But I cannot even sleep. I'm having a lot of issues with sleep. That they told me because lack of sleep, probably that's one of the reasons I'm having all these problems. But to be honest, I wanna just get better, and I know that pesticides can do a lot of damage. I'm in the transition now, changing my job too, but also being working for the last 30 years outside. I feel like I'm I'm sure that I'm magnesium deficient, and I'm taking some magnesium, but obviously I haven't ordered yours. So my question is, how can I approach this in a way that I can, handle my sleep problem, my arrhythmia, the heart palpitations, the anxiety?
Right. Yeah, got it. Let me get your name right. Is it Virgilio?
Yeah, Virgilio. It's like Virgin English, but Virgilio.
Okay. Okay, well, I mean, you're the perfect example of someone who has developed magnesium deficiencies. With the pesticides, yes, that can affect a person, but it's worse if you don't have your detoxification pathways opened up, and that requires magnesium and the B vitamins. We have and a couple of amino acids that help the detoxification through something called the glutathione. That's our Realign product. So there's the Realign, the Remag. The reason that works, so much better than other magnesiums is because it's the ion of magnesium is stabilized and goes right into the cells. So if you read some of our, like you can Google my name and anxiety and read, you can Google my name and arrhythmias, and you've obviously, if you're taking magnesium, you understand that magnesium can be at the basis of it. Sleep issues, magnesium is the best sleep medication. So all of this stuff, it's almost like, step by step, people get worse and worse and worse. with their symptoms, and doctors, because they don't look at magnesium or nutrients, they just give medications. But the fact that you had all those tests and nothing came up for your heart, boom, we get a magnesium deficiency, and the worst is over. You're going to get better. Okay?
Yes, and the biggest thing is that, now I just checked my health insurance, and they charge already $50,000 over the last 3 weeks. And I'm thinking, you know what? They're just trying to put me on medication every time I go to a doctor. I started researching your site. I started researching about magnesium anxiety deficiency. So I came across your website. So I really want to start taking my health in my own hands, because I just feel that it's really upsetting, not to feel okay and to have all these issues.
Right. Yeah, and you're very young. I mean, maybe the pesticides, weakened your immune system and did this and that. But seriously, the Realign and the Remag are going to help detoxify whatever is going on. So that's good to know. And what you do, Virgilio, is go to the Dr. Carolyn Dean Live website and click on the books. And there's the Heart Health book. It's mostly about arrhythmias, but I have an anxiety book there as well. I have the Remag book that talks about all the health conditions. So, intellectually you'll be able to say, okay, this is what's going on. Okay, I'm not going to worry anymore. I'm on the right path. I'm going to take the Remag, the Realign, and also the Remite 2 probably is going to be necessary. But, it's going to be,
Yeah, how about the Pico? You have the
Pico Silver. Oh, right. Yeah, the Pico Silver, I didn't. That boosts the immune system a lot, and it also helps. It helps grow better cells. Yeah, I mean, there's a Pico book. It does help heal internal organs, and it helps stem cell production of all of the stem cell lines. So if the pesticides have caused any damage, the Pico Silver could be very useful.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, everything's going to be helpful. We have the 2 other products. We don't have that many products because, I tried to limit them so that people just focus on the building blocks. But, we have the RNA drops that really do help make perfect cells, and the Restructure, which is our protein powder that also has RNA powder in it. But you'll start with the Realign, the Remag, the Remite, and if you like in the beginning the Pico Silver. But you're going to do so well, you're going to add all the products so that you can live forever. Okay?
Yeah. How should I take them? I mean, especially because I feel like the symptoms I have, maybe I'm very deficient because one, I have my work is very stressful. That's one. Second, I work.
And you're sweating, right? You're sweating constantly. Right. Well, it really is the same for everybody. You start with a 1/4 teaspoon in sea salt water. You drink it through the day. You have to take your body weight and drink half your body weight in ounces of water. And if you find you're sweating, you drink even more, but you put sea salt in the water. It's all laid out in the paperwork you'll get when you order from us. And then everything is laid out in every book, and also you can call or email customer service at any time. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help, and I will for sure let you guys know everything goes along, and then I will order the products maybe tonight. So definitely I want to start this as possible.
Well, that's great. I mean, I think you're going to do really well because you are determined to get better. You are determined. I can hear that. Okay?
Yes, and yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good talking to you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, gosh, what wonderful callers this evening, and I'm just so excited for him because he is on his way to feeling so much better, and, you know, he reminds me of Roman, right? I mean, he's just on his way.
Oh, right. The Roman.
Yeah.
The Roman
he's
situation.
That's right, or good old Roman. He's going to be fantastic, so that's wonderful. Mary, I just wanted to let you know that anybody who wants to communicate with Dr. Dean, including Mary, as a follow-up to this phone call or this radio show, can do so by emailing support, SUPPORT, at rnareset.com. And you can also follow up through our radio show email, which is questions, questions, at drcarolyndeanlive.com. Either one will get you there. So either one will be the place for you to go. Okay.
Blog questions, testimonials?
Yes. Oh, gosh, we've got things on here. So let me just say this first of all. Douglas and I were chitty-chatting back and forth. It's not necessary to read every word, but what I do want to say, he was asking about his Remag bottle, 16-ounce, had a little hole in the top of the seal. And I want to let everybody know, if you've encountered that that's what's called a elevation bladder. And it is actually a design in the seal itself, and it allows the bottle to gradually breathe as it goes up and down the different elevations that the bottles are in when they're flying around the world. So a lot of people order DHL. Those get on a plane, and they're going up 33,000, and then they're coming back down in a very short period of time. So that's what those are for. So it's A-OK. I want everybody to know that. Victoria Ann texted in, chatted in, Carolyn, and said, hello, everyone. Victoria from Chicago here. I called in for my first time last week. Yep. The crier, and I started the whole protocol feeling better and stronger already. Thank you for all of your love and support. I felt so cared about, and I love this community of people. So thank you. You're welcome. That's awesome. Tammy typed in, Carolyn, and said, go ahead. Sorry?
No, I was just remembering Victoria and how we were all leaking tears by the end of her call. It was wonderful.
Yes, our eyes were leaking. Yes, that's true. Tammy said, I've been on Remag 3 teaspoons a day, Remite 1.5 teaspoons a day, Realign 2 a day, and RNA drops for anxiety and depression. I've been doing this for the past 6 to 8 months, and yet my anxiety and depression symptoms still come and go, have not gone. What should I do? Should I just keep waiting, or should I add more Remag? What should I do?
Well, that's where we'd need more information. Is it Maggie? Did I get the name, or May?
Tammy.
Oh, Tammy. Sorry, Tammy. That's where we need more information, Tammy. There's always some way around a person's situation. You seem to be taking good amounts, but there are things we need to know. Email into support@rnareset.com and ask for our Tier 2 questions, which then you'll answer them, and they'll come to me, and then I'll answer you.
Good. Yes, Dr. Dean will sort it all out. It's the funniest thing, what can be triggering somebody's anxiety or depression, especially those are so many times chemical imbalances, electrochemical imbalances, and Carolyn can always spot it. She can just be like, bam, there it is, boom, and then it just gets resolved. So you'll have a good experience with that. Suzanne says, now Suzanne was the one who was asking about D3 and K2 and things. But anyway, Suzanne's one of our participants, Carolyn, in the grassroots health research study, and this is what she typed. And I just want to be clear, everybody, because people have asked me this. When you become a participant in the study, we do not get your test results. We do not know anything about your body. All that stuff is maintained under the highest confidentiality under the research protocols. You will receive a monthly assessment. They will ask follow-up questions with you. We will not get that information either. But if you want to share your results with us, that's different. You know, if you want to blurt it out to our radio audience, that's on you. But just so you know, we're not running around blurting any of your stuff to anybody because we don't even know what it is, okay? And this really is for you. It's not for us. But this is what Suzanne says. She says, I've been taking Blue Ice Royal with cod liver and butter oil for 3 months now, as well as all of your products. Grassroots Health test came back last week, and my vitamin D is at 37, which is terrific, and omega-3 index at 5.92. Suggestion of adding additional 800 milligrams of the omega-3s. So that's, and you're saying, Suzanne, just to be clear, when you went on the Grassroots Health website, that was the suggestion to add 800 milligrams of omega-3s. Now, we do have the wonderful omegas, 660 milligrams in a single serving of Restructure. And that also has the lysine for your immune support, lysine, silica, and vitamin C combined for collagen support. So that's your gut lining. All these people drinking these collagen broth powder things that they're getting on Amazon for the tune of $60, it's just cracking me up. The collagen, the tendons, ligaments, and all that. So if you're doing Restructure, Suzanne, think about that, maybe just throwing in another teaspoon or scoop or so, and you should, you might have that covered. Thoughts about that, Carolyn?
Yeah. That's great. We do have to keep telling people what all is in Restructure. And my omega-3s were good, but I eat tuna and salmon. I eat a lot of fish. I get the low mercury tuna and salmon from safecatch.com, and I do the 2 Blue Ice Royal capsules a day. So because I don't take omega-3 products, I think in order to get the mercury out of them, they process them quite a lot, so I don't know what's really going on. They make me burp something terrible, so I know I'm not even digesting them. So I'll do my tinned tuna and salmon. I mix it up with a whole big whack of macadamia nut pate, and that's part of kind of the keto diet, high-fat macadamia nuts and garlic, which is part of the yeast protocol. And I think that's how I'm getting my omega-3s. Do you want to share with our audience, Ginny, what your omega-3 result was?
I don't know. I didn't. I didn't even look at that. I know. I'm such a you guys don't pay attention to me. I'm a terrible example on this stuff. I get these things and I look at it and
the leaders of your research project.
I know. Don't pay attention to me. I am not a doctor. Believe me. But I will say that my vitamin D was I think 37 or 40 or something. Now let's just say our good friend Carol, who was on the show a couple weeks ago, and many of you were delighted with her presentation and you really love listening to her. Carol says, 37 is right there. She likes to see people, at 40 or something like that, 40 to 60, Carolyn? Yeah. That's her
40.
The 40, spot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what we're trying to determine, because my vitamin D was low, but I feel great. And what I'm going to do, I've been taking vitamin D, for the past maybe month even. I don't feel any different. So I don't know. Is it that my Remag is utilizing the vitamin D at the level it is, and I'm good with that? I am taking the Blue Ice Royal, two capsules a day, as I said. So we're going to learn a lot. And to Suzanne's question about the grassroots research, what we will get is summaries, like a generalization of your whatever. First 100 people, the trend is this, but we do not get individual reports unless you're willing to spill, and we'd love you to spill so that we can educate more people and get a groundswell going with people doing testing. And the reason why I'm suggesting this testing, where I've been sort of against it for so long, it's in one lab. It's not 500 different lab results, which you have no idea the quality control. So it's in one lab that Carol has vetted for many years, and she says it's great. I know the lab. I've done courses with that lab before in conferences, and they're well respected. So we've got a good lab. We've got the magnesium RBC test. We've got this testing that you can do in your own house, and you don't need a doctor's prescription. So I mean, what more could you ask for, right, Ginny?
That is absolutely correct. Yeah, what more could you ask for? It's going to be, it just keeps growing and getting more fun, and we're really excited to have a lot of people. I think a lot of people are waiting to do it until after the first year, because, everybody gets super serious about, all that business then. Mm. But I'm excited about it. It's just really great. I'm glad we can do it. Okay, let's see. Right. Where are we here now with everybody? So thank you, Suzanne, for your valuable comments. Our dear friend Belinda, who we just love, she says, I have a question from my husband. He's curious about the source of the magnesium. Is that the most typical husband question ever? Well, where do they get the magnesium from? The husbands, the way their resistance works, right, to their wives, is just so classic. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Belinda, I hope you know I'm just teasing you, but that's so funny. Where is it mined from, and how is it processed? I think Dr. Dean has talked about this. Is there information I can print for him? The magnesium comes from Texas. And it just comes in big chunky chunks, and it actually has to go through this 18-point process of transformation for it to become Remag. So what happens is it goes through the process of becoming that big chunk into a liquid, into a concentrated, into the 60,000 part per million, into these really Remag is like living magnesium crystals of light. If you look at it in a microscope, it's just a trip. So it's a very, very unique stuff. But that is where
and the original, and the original compound is magnesium chloride, which even on its own is actually the best absorbed magnesium. And the chloride part, in the electrolyte world, chloride is one of the things they measure. So you're getting something that's very compatible with the body, the chloride part of it. But the magnesium itself is a stabilized ion. And, it's quite different from, say, a citrate. Citrate is not an electrolyte. Magnesium glycinate, the glycinate is not. Oxide, forget about that. That's just a laxative. So we've got the best magnesium going on all levels, and it is American-born. It is not from China, husband.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. It's the thing that's also great about Remag is its versatility, because a lot of people, they take these pills and powders, and not only does it make them sick because the gut thing, but you just can't use a pill on your skin. I think that's one of the most amazing things about Remag is you can literally, if you pour it on your hand and rub it into your body, you can spray it on, you can rub it on your calves, you can rub it on your feet. When people are having AFib, I tell them to just put it right on their chest. Just put some in your hand and just rub it straight onto your chest and just let it go right there locally and, you know, start to transmit that goodness into your body. So it's just so incredibly versatile, too. That's, I think, one. And you can, you know, pets and all kinds of things. I mean, my pets love this stuff. So it's really fun. It's fun stuff. Let's see now. So there, Belinda, let me know if I answered your question for you. Okay, and Anna, Carolyn, is asking this question. I've just found out that I have 18 genetic methylation errors. 5 are homozygous. I'm taking Remag 2 teaspoons, Remite 1 teaspoon, and Realign 3 per day in a staggered dose. Which product will help boost my methylation the most?
Realign. Realign, for sure. And because it's got the methylated Bs, so it helps fill up the gaps if they're, you know, with methylation problems. But you know, these are variations of genes. They're not gene abnormalities. 18 sounds like a lot, and I don't really know the whole story about you and the testing or what's going on or your symptomatology, but I tend to think the whole methylation genetic testing is a little extreme, and there really isn't enough known about these gene variations to know how bad they are, how much they're affecting people. But because methylation variations are coming up a lot, I really think it can be also related to magnesium deficiency. So by taking your Remag and your Realign, and then, of course, the Remite for the other balance of minerals, just keep a diary. See how you feel. See if things shift and switch. I know the whole methylation business started to come up around using genetic testing. When I tell the story a lot, when the Genome Project fell apart, because they wanted to elucidate the whole human genome, and they figured, oh yeah, we'll find 100,000 genes I think they were looking for, that, you know, they could pluck a gene out of a person if it was misbehaving. But they only found 23,000 genes, so they realized, oh my gosh, genes are doing all kinds of different things, but more important, they realized that they're the nutrients that the body requires turn genes on and off. So that's the epigenetics line of thinking, and that's where, you know, we just, with the way we have our products as being the building blocks of everything, including RNA and DNA, which is a known factor of magnesium, then I just began saying to people, well, take your Remag, your Realign, your Remite, and see how your body adapts to the nutrients and allows you to methylate on your own instead of the variations. Now, when she said homozygous, that implies that both genes have this abnormality, and that can be argued to be, you know, a little more serious. So again, I don't know exactly your situation, but certainly the Realign, Remag, and Remite are going to help. Okay, Ginny?
Good. Outstanding. Wonderful. Okay, 602-666-6027. I believe we've got a couple callers that are still waiting. If you're on the line and you haven't hit *5 on your keypad, please do so now, and I'll try to get you on with Dr. D before the show. And let's go to area code 508. 508, you're on the line with Dr.
Ginny, I haven't gotten to the blog question today, so I have to do that.
Oh,
I have to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Okay, good.
I'm a 59-year-old male and have taken your magnesium supplement at a half teaspoon a day for the past 6 months. Now, can anyone tell me what's wrong with that statement? Yes, you're right. A half teaspoon a day is only 150 milligrams, so that's not going to do enough. Recently, I had a blood test which shows serum magnesium at the top end of the normal. At the same time, the RBC magnesium shows my level at the very bottom end of the normal. Hence, I barely squeak by with my RBC magnesium level. According to the lab, the body uses the magnesium from RBC cells to replenish the serum magnesium to prevent it from dropping too low. Yeah, the way I've stated that in the past, Steve, is when the serum magnesium starts going low, it will pull magnesium from storage. So they're implying that magnesium is stored in the red blood cells, but it's also in the bones and the muscles, and that's why people start getting cramps. And the reason why serum magnesium is supported that way and propped up that way is because it's the magnesium in the blood, the serum, that perfuses the heart and keeps the heart rhythm in balance. He says, in this case, I have abundant serum magnesium. I also use your magnesium skin cream nightly. Is there any hope that my RBC magnesium may replenish over time, et cetera, et cetera? He wonders if he's genetically disposed to have low RBC magnesium. Well, you haven't even proven what your body can do because you haven't taken enough magnesium. The therapeutic saturation amounts are more like 2.5 to 3 to 4 teaspoons. You know, maybe working up to 3 teaspoons is the next step, and then you can have a blood test that shows a better balance. And here's a quick testimonial from Lavina. I have a miraculous testimony from my daughter who's pregnant. She gets varicose veins in her legs, and they are very painful when she's pregnant. She discovered that 2 pumps of Remag lotion on her legs takes the pain away instantly, and they actually don't look as bad. Needless to say, she's sold on the lotion. I wish she would drink it, but being pregnant, she just can't drink it no matter what she puts in it. So I told her to spray it on her on the outside skin so she gets more. I said, wonderful, and I would also spray Pico Silver and take our whole C reset to heal the veins and capillaries. So isn't that cool about the varicose veins? I hadn't even thought of that.
Yep, it's absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Right. Okay, so I can stop now. I have a couple testimonies, but let's take one more call for the show.
Okay, I've got 2 people holding, so we'll try to do them at maybe 3. Everybody piles in the last few minutes. Okay, let's try
this. At the end, yes.
Yeah, let's try it. Okay, area code 508. 508, you're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and your question.
Hi, Dr. Dean. Hi, Jenny. It's Elise. Thanks for taking my call. I wrote in a couple weeks ago. I have a lung inflammation, and you suggested I nebulize magnesium. So I got a nebulizer, and I called customer service. I talked to Julie, and she suggested I do it full strength, and I didn't know if I should dilute it. But that was a little strong, and I was wondering if I should dilute it with what and how much.
I don't know specifically, and I can't give medical advice.
No, okay. Oh, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Most things are nebulized with a saline liquid.
Oh, okay.
You'll find that. Yeah, you just get a, medical grade saline in a drugstore, and you can even ask a pharmacist when people nebulize a liquid medication in their nebulizer, what's the ratio of saline to the medication, okay?
Oh, I really appreciate it, and I get such tremendous energy with your products. Even though I have inflammation, you would never know it. I have so much energy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Elise. Thanks for calling in.
Okay,
next
let's
call.
Let's do area code 732-732. You're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and state your question or comment.
Hi, it's Diana again. How are you ladies doing tonight? Great to talk with you.
Fine. You've got 3 minutes, sweetheart.
Okay, 3 minutes. Okay, well, two quick questions. One is, what is the rule of pH in the body for the absorption of Remag and Remite? That's the first question.
No, nothing, no worries. You don't have to do anything because being a stabilized ion, it's going to be absorbed no matter what, no matter the pH, no matter anything. Okay?
Oh, good. And the last question is, what is the role of silica and sulfur for joint health?
I missed several of those words.
Okay, I know. I take the Realign, but I noticed that there's no silica or sulfur in it, and I was told that silica and sulfur are critical for joint health.
Jenny, I can't understand.
That's okay. Yeah, you're saying they're not. It's not sulfur, love. It's a sulfur-based amino acids, which means that they work in the sulfation pathways of the liver for detoxification, but they're not sulfur. And silica is important for bone health, and that's in the restructure.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's the powder then, correct? The protein powder?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep,
okay. All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. All right, thank you very much. Have a great night. Thanks so much for taking my call.
No problem.
Perfect timing. Okay. We can do our three calls.
Yep, here we go. Area code 612, you're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
This is Jane.
Okay, go ahead.
I realize, Dr. Dean, your time is very valuable and much in demand, so I'll try to be brief with the long history that I have. I will keep it as short as I can. I was diagnosed with no free hydrochloric acid back in the early 50s when I was in my young 20s. Later on, I was diagnosed with high cholesterol and elevated blood pressure. This was back in the early 80s. I had a lot of what I considered strange symptoms at the time, ear ringing, irregular pounding heart, etc. I couldn't get to first base with any of the medical doctors I saw. Later on, I was diagnosed with CREST syndrome. I won't go into that at all. And in the 90s, in 1999, I was diagnosed with a deficiency in magnesium by Preventive Medicine Associates right here in the good state of Minnesota, in Minneapolis. Preventive Medicine Associates and Dr. Eckerly said, after having a magnesium loading test, we infused you with 918 milligrams of magnesium. I retained 71.5%, and she said, anything over 50% is abnormal. So I have had a deficiency, severe deficiency. She went on to say it's maybe a problem with difficulty in absorption or retaining. Sometimes has to do with problem with bowel absorption. I had 41 magnesium intravenous treatments over the next year, and my stores were completely rebuilt. I was doing very well, but always took my magnesium supplements of various types orally. However, now the 1st of December, I had quite a severe heart problem with I don't know if I would even call it I guess I'd have to just say it was very irregular pounding and very rapid pulse. And so I have a friend who loaned me the Magnesium Miracle, which I really appreciated, and that's my story. I'm not sure how much magnesium to take. I've been taking it since this episode occurred, your Remag. I started out with half a teaspoon once a day, then I went to half teaspoon twice a day, then I went to a whole teaspoon twice a day, and I'm not too sure how much to take. That's
okay,
my
we're
question.
at 1 minute left. 1 minute left in the show.
Yeah. Well, with the history you've had, Jane, and the fact that you have this wasting of magnesium, personally, I'd be taking 3 to 4 teaspoons. But you'd also have to add on the Remite and put the sea salt in the water. So what you should do is email us at support@rnareset.com, read my heart health book at drcarolyndeanlive.com so we can support you more on fine-tuning things, okay?
Yes, I'd appreciate that. And the relationship to my no-free hydrochloric acid has always been a question in my mind, and no one is willing to address it.
Well, low magnesium is necessary to make hydrochloric acid in the stomach.
Okay, we'll get to all of this later. I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for calling, Jane, and take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Very good. Oh, bye-bye. Okay, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Ginny. Thank you, callers. Awesome.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Hey, Bob.
Ginny.
Hey.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you.
Change the whole family structure. It's going to change the neighborhood. Already a bunch of people in the neighborhood have TV, and I can see the effects on my peers.
We'll continue after this.
I warned them it's going to create a separation and create a Berlin Wall in the family. It's going to make my sister become a different kind of person. It's going to make me become a different kind of person. I'll lose my interest in hockey. I'll get into drugs. I predicted all this when I was 10, but you couldn't understand that. You didn't believe me.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is achieveradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/achieveradio.
Got a new tech device? Be sure to recycle your old one. The Consumer Electronics Association is making it easy to recycle your old TVs, tablets, and smartphones. Go to greenergadgets.org, type in your zip code, and you'll find the recycling center closest to your home. That's greenergadgets.org.